Hi guys, welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content to do with childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share my experiences of going through this childhood trauma. I also share news stories and add my thoughts and commentary to them, and any other thing I feel that will empower or support survivors of childhood sexual abuse, I discuss it on this channel. So if this is the type of content that you're looking for, please hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button, the subscribe button if you want to see more of this content, and also hit the thumbs up button if you do like this content, because also as well it lets the algorithm know that this content is out there so others who may be going through similar experiences can find it. So guys, in today's video I want to share with you basically my reaction to the news that child sex offender Huw Edwards has been given a suspended sentence. Lots of people talking about it and expressing their disgust on different social media platforms, quite rightly, because it is absolutely disgusting that he has not been given a jail sentence. Over here in the UK, Huw Edwards has been a prominent, if not one of the top news presenters, news journalists over here for many, many decades, going back to probably the 80s, probably 90s, early 90s. If you don't know who he is, if you did remember when the Queen did die, Queen Elizabeth II, back a couple of years ago, he was the one that broke the news on the BBC. So he was given that very prominent responsibility to break that news. So I'm just going to read to you the story and I'm just going to share my thoughts on it. So the headline says in the Daily Mail, Huw Edwards smiles as he spared jail for child abuse offences. Huw Edwards stared down at the ground as he left court with his life in tatters after being handed a 6-month suspended sentence for accessing sex abuse images of children as young as 7. The 63-year-old previously admitted 3 charges of making indecent photographs after he was sent 41 illegal images by a convicted paedophile, Alex Williams, over WhatsApp. At Westminster Magistrates Court today, Edwards held his hands together and leaned forward throughout his sentencing hearing. He then let out a small sigh as he was handed 6 months imprisonment, suspended for 2 years. Edwards smiled broadly as he left the courtroom, accompanied by a member of his legal team, carrying the small suitcase he had brought with him, possibly in anticipation of him being jailed. He later walked down the street with his legal team before being driven away in a black Mercedes. A mugshot released of the presenter, which you can see here, shows him staring at the camera, dead-eyed and gaunt, with silver stubble across his face. Magistrates Court heard Edwards told Williams go on when asked if he wanted naughty pics and vids, specially described as YNG, which is short for young. So the court also heard that Edwards paid Williams hundreds of pounds after he sent in pornographic images, but his defence lawyer, Huw Edwards, said the broadcaster did not make payments to Williams in order to receive indecent images of children. The prosecution said Williams asked Edwards for a Christmas gift after all the hot videos. Prosecutor Ian Hope said Alex Williams says he wants some Air Force One trainers that cost around £100, and Mr. Edwards offers to send him £200. Of the indecent images Huw Edwards received, the estimated age of most of the children was between 13 and 15, but one was aged between 7 and 9. Defence barrister Huw Edwards KC said Edwards was truly sorry and recognises the repugnant nature of the images sent to him. The journalist claims alcohol and the decline of mental health played a part in his sick chats. The BBC said the following after the sentencing: "We are appalled at his crimes. He has betrayed not just the BBC but audience who put their trust in him." Sentencing Edwards, Chief Magistrate Paul Goodspring told the broadcaster, "Perhaps it does not need saying, but you are a previous good character." The judge said that he accepted the journalist had been of exemplary good character, having enjoyed a successful career in the media. "It's obvious that until now you are hardly regarded by the public," he continued, adding that Edwards was perhaps the most recognised newsreader journalist. It's not an exaggeration to say that your long-earned reputation is in tatters. He also told Edwards he would be subject to 25 rehabilitation sessions and would be placed on a sex offender treatment program for 40 days. Edwards was also ordered to pay $3,000 in prosecution costs. The judge continued, "I am of the clear view that you did not present a risk or danger to the public at large, specifically to children. This is a realistic prospect of rehabilitation." He declined to make a sexual harm prevention order against Edwards. The final indecent image was sent in August 2021, a Category A film featuring a boy, with convicted paedophile Williams telling the newsreader that the child was quite young looking and that he had more images that were illegal. Mr. Goodsprings said that he accepted that Edwards had no memory of what images he viewed due to a mental disorder at the time. Guys, this story is making me feel absolutely sick. Huw Edwards is sick. And, you know, all this stuff about mental health and what mental disorder stops him from remembering things? Doesn't he remember DLs? Doesn't he remember things on the news as a newsreader? So what disorder did he have that made him not remember the fact that he was viewing these images? I don't believe him. He's a liar. I believe he is a liar. You know, he's lied to get his way out of it. Oh, anyway, let me just quickly finish reading this. Also, it says, you know, Alex Williams has stated the money was more generally to support him at university and amounted to around £1,000 to £1,500. Mr. Hope continued, from the chat in December 2020, Alex Williams said that he had files of vids and pics for you of someone special. Mr. Edwards immediately queried who the image was and was sent 3 images seemingly of the same person, from 2 of which the subject's age could be discerned between 14 and 16. Those 2 were classed as Category C images of children in which the child was exposing his penis. Oh my gosh, guys, this is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, there's lots to this story for you to read on about. First of all, I just want to say, Huw Edwards, you've got nothing at all to be smiling about. You are a deviant. You have been shown to be a deviant. Now, these are just my thoughts. I believe that you've probably had dealings with this type of stuff before, but this is your first time getting caught. So I guess, you know, just from knowing the nature of paedophiles and those that like to abuse children, you'll probably try and be more careful next time. Because, you know, the excuses that you're giving here, the excuses that you're giving about mental disorder and stuff, you know, it's just absolutely appalling. You've got nothing to smile about. There's nothing for you to smile about. Yes, they've made a big thing about you having your reputation in tatters, but I mean, what really is that? I mean, you've made enough money along your career to afford the finer things in life, haven't you? You and your wife with your high up positions in the BBC, which I believe to be a paedophilic organisation, allegedly. The amount of paedophiles that have come out of the BBC, and even recently I was sent a TikTok video of a girl who was in foster care sometime during the 90s, where she was saying that children like her were trafficked by the BBC. And I'm going to go into that video. I'm going to make a video about that. But your life is not in tatters. What? You won't be able to read news again. No one wants to see your face. No one wants to see your face after what you've done. But you are going to still be living a high standard of life in your nice house with your money. You know, you'll probably might do some type of freelance work under the radar that doesn't draw attention to your name. You know, your life is not in tatters, as far as I'm concerned. Whose life is in tatters is the children's images that you chose to view. You and your paedophile friend who you are sending money to. It's the children in those images whose life are in tatters. One of the parents or relatives who basically wrote an open letter to you about the effect of what you did on her son or family member's life.
To Huw Edwards, I am writing this open letter to make you understand the immense pain and suffering you have caused me, my son, my family, your own family, and all of your victims over the years. You will receive your punishment in court. I won't be able to tell that court the full details of what you did to my family. But I hope, in writing this, to take back the power and control which you so cruelly stole from us. My son was a normal, happy teenager before you wormed your way into his life. When we tried to stop you, you tried to bribe us and set lawyers on us. Your friends in the media tried to smear us as liars. Our own family turned against us, even though everything we said was true. You drove a wedge between me and my son. Only now are we able to try to repair the damage you did. That you have lost everything is no consolation to us. All we care about is that we stopped your predatory grooming and saved our boy. For now, that is enough.
This judge hasn't even mentioned the children. He hasn't mentioned the children. As a matter of fact, he has said that you are not a risk to the public or to children. You are a risk to children, because as long as there are people like you who indulge in seeing children in a vulnerable sexual state, as long as there are people out there like you who are willing to pay for images, who are willing to, well, you didn't pay for images, did you? You just gave them a gift to help them with university, so you say. But as long as there's people out there like you who have got a appetite for these type of images, child sexual abuse will never ever be taken seriously. What am I even saying here? Child sexual abuse will never be eradicated, because I believe that a lot of the people who are running these child sex trafficking rings, who are doing all these paedophile things, who are getting off and letting their bodies off, are all up in the higher parts of society. The elites, the Freemasons, all these different types of groups are all involved in this type of thing at a higher level, allegedly, when it's not even really that. We can see from the news, and from even with the BBC's most famous case with Jimmy Savile, who they let pass, knowing for decades what this guy was doing, abusing hundreds of children, going into hospitals, abusing sick children. They let him pass without being accountable for his crimes. Because what we see in the law about child sexual abuse being an offence, a jailable offence, is that people like you who are prominent in society don't get that sentence. I'm going to show you guys here a couple of clips from people who had images, who were sentenced and put in jail. A 41-year-old man has been sentenced to more than 2 years in prison after being found in possession of indecent images of children. Shane Scottbourne, 41, Green, Middleborough, was sentenced at Southampton Court on Monday the 18th of September 2023 to 26 months in prison. He was also issued with an indefinite sexual harm prevention order and will be required to register his details with the police indefinitely in accordance with the Sexual Offences Act 2003. This follows a hearing on Tuesday the 13th of June 2023 at Southampton Magistrates Court, in which Scottbourne pleaded guilty to taking an indecent photograph, a photo of a child, and 3 counts of making an indecent photo of a child. Crawley man William Mousdale has been jailed for almost 3 years after being found with thousands of indecent images of children. He was arrested at his home on the 14th of December 2022 after police linked his address to the uploading of indecent images of children on the internet. So guys, you can see from these 2 examples of these stories that I've shared, they had images and they got jailed. But Huw Edwards did not get jailed because he's got alcohol problems, he's got mental health and all this stuff. I'm saying that he is manipulative, and paedophiles and those that abuse children and those that indulge in these type of things are manipulative by nature. I do believe that there is one system for prominent members or those in society that are deemed upstanding members of society, because you notice what the judge said, how he was an upstanding member of society with an exemplary and successful career in journalism. What have I said on other videos about child sex offenders? What have I said about paedophiles? That the way that they present themselves in public, you know, is often a cover for their deviancy, and that people will automatically look on their accomplishments, the way they present themselves and all this stuff, to make a judgment about whether or not they are a risk to children or whether they're a paedophile. This is why child sex abuse victims and survivors can never get ahead. Because the people that they report to the police, the people that they say are doing it within their family, that are upstanding, that present as decent citizens and stuff, they get away with it just because of how they present in society to other people. But the fact is, underneath that facade that Huw Edwards has, underneath that exterior that he presents to the world, he is a deviant. Why would you want to see images of children? One was described here as the child having their private parts out. Why would you want to see that? Why would you want to have a look at those type of images? God will deal with you for what you have done in this case with these children. You have not got away with it. The law of this land, the law when it comes to child sexual abuse, is a joke. And I've been writing about these things in my book, Choose Life, about the justice system from a long time ago. Their inquiries, the things that they do are all set up just to kind of, you know, calm people, but never enough to make effective change. If the law was really serious about the fact that they say to have or possess or to make images is an offence, a jailable offence, they would have jailed Huw Edwards. A 6 month suspended sentence, 42 sessions of rehabilitation. I think it is just disgraceful. And when the story first broke, when he was, you know, a few weeks ago up in court to be charged, I didn't bother make a video then. I wanted to wait and see how it was going to kind of, you know, progress and the result of everything. And I'm not surprised that he has got this sentence. But that's all I wanted to share in this video, guys. I really don't know what else to say. It's just been appalling to see that the justice system has let down children once again. Until the next video, take care.